city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event. It's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds. A movement of momentum. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC Experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC Experience Mastermind, where purpose is found.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What a beautiful Tuesday morning. Hello to
Happy
you, Jose. And happy belated birthday there, Jose.
Thank you. We're still riding that wave. It's technically speaking the birthday month, right? That just ended.
That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. It just wrapped up. But
yeah.
Melanie's birthday is also in January, and I said to her, "Listen, it's not one day for you. It's got to be the whole month." So
my wife thinks like that. I don't understand that. But
you have to celebrate being alive. I think that's truly what it all comes down to. Celebrate living. We forget that, right? We forget those little things.
But the whole month.
Yeah, man. I have clients who celebrate their 6th month of being born. So they celebrate twice. So,
really?
Yeah.
I've never heard it. Really?
These are my brilliant clients.
Oh, okay. All right. I tend to, now, especially as the birthdays keep coming, I tend to like, oh God, here go another one. I just finished one. That's coming so quick. I don't even like to acknowledge it sometimes. So celebrating for a whole month is just traumatizing to me. Yeah.
I got to tell you, I'm excited for today because we're going to talk about taking the stage. And listen, you're taking the stage for the whole month for yourself, for your life, for the purpose of why we're here, right? So I think I love the topic today of taking the stage because we've all been on stages. We've seen each other be on stage. And so I did come up with a couple of questions. I was talking to Lancelot before. So for me, it's different every stage I've ever gotten on. And for me, it's also about the people who are in the room. So here's the question for you guys, and I'll answer it too after you guys. What goes through your mind seconds before you actually step on the stage?
Well, I guess I'll start it. For me, it's just being as authentic as possible. Just going out there, because I don't want to call it nervous, but I go out always making sure and hoping that I remember the message that I'm going to relay to people without having hiccups. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm very comfortable on stage because I've been an MC for like 20 years. That's what I do. So it's a combination of being able to still stay comfortable and still stay on message. That's very important to drive home because this is a different arena. I'm just not on stage, orchestrating a club or orchestrating people. I'm now trying to deliver a message. Mm-hmm. So it's about being as authentic as possible, feeling comfortable enough to be able to get that message across and land that message so that they understand why I'm there and what I stand for.
Love that. Love that. Thank you for that. Jose, your thoughts? And look at that. You guys, I didn't get the memo. You guys, I didn't wear the right colors today.
Well, Lancelot clearly is a Commanders fan. I get it. But anyway,
That's what I'm thinking.
so in terms of the first thoughts that go to my mind, and this happens all the time before I get on any stage, I can tell you very clearly because I know, like, I literally feel it right now. It's butterflies. The butterflies that I feel in my stomach before, it's like going on a first date with my wife, right? I still remember our first date and the feelings of like, man, I think I need a little doggy bag to vomit in because I was so nervous. And I get nervous every time before I get on the stage, every single time. Even if I look even keeled and like a stone cold poker face and I look like I'm perfectly fine or I'm smiling and giggling with somebody on the sidelines, internally, I am nervous because naturally I've always been nervous when I get on stage, not so much because of me. So this is where the interesting thing comes in. I get nervous because for me, the thought that goes through my mind before I go on the stage is I'm not taking the stage necessarily to be seen, like about me, Jose Escobar. It's about being of service.
Right.
Right. So when I'm taking the stage, it's about I want to make sure I deliver the best possible message. I add as much value to the room. I over deliver for these people, and I give them every single penny's worth of their desire to be in the room, right, to learn and grow. So for me, it's the pressure of having to deliver on what their expectation is. Now that's the first thought. There's two sides to this thought. That's the first thought is I have to deliver. It's not about you, Jose. You got to show up, right? People came for value, right? The second thing that goes into my mind is you are the best speaker in the world. I tell myself that you are the number one speaker in the world. You are a world-class speaker. People paid money to come see you. There is nothing you can say that's going to be wrong. You have this. You are the best speaker in the room. Jose, you have what it takes. Jose, you are the best. Jose, people paid big money to come see you, right? These are the thoughts that I have to tell myself to pump myself up, because if I don't, the automatic negative thoughts start to creep in, right? I start to talk myself out of, Jose, you're the best. Jose, people are here. Because I start to say, man, am I prepared? Do I actually know what I'm going to say from beginning to end? What if this happens? What if this, or I don't know that person. I wonder if they're going to be, if they want me to win or if they're looking for me to fail. Like all these thoughts start to come into your mind if you don't properly train your brain. So before I get on the stage, I properly brainwash myself in a positive way with affirmations while understanding, Jose, this is not about you. This is about service to the people in the room. Go and over deliver. They want you to win. They expect you to win. And you have everything it takes to do that.
Wow, Jose, that's powerful, brother. I really enjoyed that. Being that I've been on stages since I was a kid, right? So for me, I understand that people get nervous and people are not prepared and all these different things. For me, it's a little bit different. And one of the things I teach people before they get on a stage is when they have butterflies, what I usually tell them is it's okay to have butterflies, just have them fly in formation, right? So that you control the butterflies. For me, it's become something really so deep and so different every single time I get on a stage. And I get excited. And so instead of nerves, I get excited because I know that what I'm going to share is going to impact at least one person. If I hit one person, man, I am golden. And so for me, when I get on a stage, any stage, whether it's a virtual stage or a physical stage, and it doesn't matter if I'm an assembly of thousands of people or if it's 4 people, and I've done it where I've presented to 2 people. I presented ideas and theories and so forth, and even pitched some concepts to people. It's about the message. Why do they even want to listen to me? So that's where I start is, why am I here? And do I have what they want to hear? And just like you, Jose, I asked that question. Am I of value to someone? And I know in my heart that at least one person will walk away with something that will impact them. And so this is why I continue loving going on stages. And for me, it's also about not me. Just like you said, Jose, it's not about you. It's not about look at me, look at me. It's more about let me see you. Let me shine the light on you, because I am the one holding the light and I want to shine it on my audience. Wherever I am in the world or whoever the audience is, it's about them, because if we don't connect, my message will never land on anyone. And the goal is one, right? And sometimes we get more than one. So I'm very fortunate that way.
Nice.
Yeah. When it comes to today's topic, I'm glad we're talking about taking the stage, because and it's very important, because a lot of people don't even acknowledge, what should I be thinking before I get on the stage? What should I be saying to myself? What is that preparatory thought process that should be occurring before I get on the stage? But I can tell you, taking the stage is important. It is part of the journey of impact. If you're looking to influence the world, you want to be an influencer, you want to be an impact player, you want to be an authority, you want to be the go-to person in your industry, you need to get on stages. I wouldn't so much say as it's a requirement, but it's almost a requirement to be very, very successful at an impact level. If you're looking to take your business to a whole nother level. So, and I'll tell you right now, a lot of people, what they think is they're like, oh my gosh, I'll speak when I'm ready to speak. When I feel I'm a professional speaker and I'm equipped and I've done all the courses and the programs and I've gotten some certifications and I've paid the, tens of thousands of dollars to the right coaches. And I've done, like, does that help? Of course it helps. Do I recommend it along your journey to do these things? Sure, of course. Why not? I would never not recommend it, because it only makes you better. Is it a requirement? The answer, unequivocally, no. Okay, so I'm going to take the stage when I have it all figured out. Don't wait for that, right? Get ready. You get ready by taking the stage. You get ready by getting on the stage. I can tell you right now, I was literally thrown on the stage in the very beginning of my career, 4 years ago, to be exact. I wasn't speaking for the last 15, 20 years. When I started my business 4 years ago, I said, well, I have a book. I am a coach, one-to-many and one-on-one, and I have a community. And people keep inviting me to be on stage. It's like the next natural step to just automatically get on stage. And I said, well, am I going to say no to these stages, or am I just going to get on because I know that's part of the deal, right? And I just got on. And I can tell you, the small stages lead to the bigger stages. Okay, small stages lead to bigger stages. So start with podcasts. If you're not a good speaker, or you're not a qualified speaker, I say qualified because people feel like you need to be qualified for everything. And you're not a professional speaker, because, and I say professional, meaning you haven't done enough gigs to be considered a professional speaker. But let's say you're an aspiring speaker, or you're a speaker under construction. Well, the key is get on some podcasts. When you get on podcasts, you know what happens? You start to feel comfortable talking and talking and talking on a virtual stage, at least, right? Talking, answering questions, your delivery, having a flow, being comfortable, you being the center of attention. And then podcasts, you know what that leads to? It leads to panels. And before you know it, somebody says, I'd love for you to be a panel on this stage for this group of people, or whatever the case is. And naturally, eventually it leads to you being on a stage, right? Where somebody invites you to say, hey, come speak at my virtual event, or come speak at my conference, and I'd love for you to speak, maybe 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, not a full-blown 1 hour, but something. And that talk, eventually, guess what happens? It leads to you keynoting. Eventually, you become the main event. Eventually, people are like, hey, I'd love for you to keynote my event. And the keynote leads to the influence and the impact that you're looking for. And that is the order of operations. Everything starts somewhere, right? Incremental, small, simple steps. but you got to be willing to get out there in your imperfection to eventually become a strong speaker.
And I love that. And I'll add to that. I say, while you're imperfecting and you're out there perfecting, also get the information needed in order to be a good speaker. There's one thing to get out there and speak. There's another thing to answer questions, but there's another thing to formulate a speech that is effective to the audience. And that's a formula. And as a person who's very comfortable with being on stage and speaking, it's still different from how do you formulate a speech or a talk that is going to move the needle and affect the people, or that one or two people that you want to affect. So it's important. I love the fact, get out there and make it happen. But as you're making it happen, do the work in between. You know what I mean? Because being a speaker is not, it's not easy. It's not hard. It's just a matter of doing that incremental work, studying, getting that information, knowing the connection story and the transformational story. Those kind of things were very important. But I do believe that get out there and just get it started. I
know Sifu wants to say something. I saw it he was on the edge of his seat, but really quick to piggyback off of that, I've got to say, too many of us, and I include myself because I was there too at some point, too many of us are so caught up in this preparatory stage. We're constantly preparing and getting the right coaching of a speaker coach and getting the right mini stages where it's just 5 people or 10 people because we want to get that feedback, and we keep doing these smaller level little things here and there to sharpen the axe. And then opportunities come our way where somebody says, hey, come speak. And you're like, oh, I'm busy. I have something going on, or let me get back to you, or I'm not quite there yet. I'm almost there. I'll get back to you when I'm ready. Like, these opportunity is never missed. It's just picked up by somebody else, right? I'll quote that to Emilio. Opportunities are not going to disappear. They're just going to go to somebody else who's ready. Success happens when opportunity and preparedness collide. Right. So are you prepared to take an opportunity when it arrives, right? And is the opportunity even there? Sometimes opportunities don't come. So if opportunities aren't there, it's okay. It will come eventually, but just be ready. And if, again, the opportunity shows up and you're not ready, you're going to miss it, right? So success in life, it's about being prepared for as many opportunities as they show up and as you create them. Because some opportunities show up and some of them you have to create on your own. Okay. And I can tell you right now, in the beginning, I said, man, it's hard to find these stages because I needed more stages. So what did I say? I was proactive. I said, I'm going to create my own stages. And sometimes you just got to do that. Right. But again, it goes back to the simple concept of don't be in learning mode forever, and don't be in preparatory mode forever, and don't be in perfection mode forever. Sometimes life is going to require you to execute. And that just means you get on the stage, whether you're ready or not, because the audience doesn't know any better. Okay.
I love all this, gentlemen. I got to tell you, we've all been in front of incredible speakers and lousy ones. And I'm going to tell you who your first speakers that you were in front of. Your teachers in school. 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, and on and on and on. And you remember the good ones. You remember the ones that impacted you. And that is a great speaker. And we forget that our teachers were our speakers that we were in front of. And who do we want to emulate? Lancelot, you train and you coach people. You're a speaker every time you're training them. You're teaching them. You're showing them how to do something. And so therefore, they have to listen to you to be able to do that. I've been teaching since I was in high school. And because of that, about 20 years ago, I was on the news every 2 weeks for about 2 years because they saw what I was able to do. They used to come to my facility and they used to videotape. And then they said, hey, we actually want you on the news to do a segment every 2 weeks. are you available? I'm like, yeah, opportunity was there. I was not going to say no because I was already comfortable in front of the camera. I was comfortable in front of other people, and I was comfortable demonstrating. And so therefore I was able to teach, and I was able to be on it for 2 years, every 2 weeks. And one of the things that is required, and that's a lot, this is when it's live, you don't show up late ever,
No.
because then they don't put you on. You don't even show up 15 minutes before. I
Maybe
used
an
to show up
hour
an hour before,
before.
yes,
That's right. Even
because
an hour before.
they said we're going to be on at 6 a.m. I used to have to be there by 5
Yep.
a.m., right? And so if we think about the importance of a message, would they want to have me there if I did not deliver even the first time? Would they want me there for 2 years in a row if I didn't deliver the first time?
Not on TV.
A lot of times we have to look at what our message is about, who the audience is. So, Jose, you're 1,000% right. We need to get more people on stages. This is why we created New York City Mastermind Experience. We're looking for speakers who maybe they're somewhat green, but we're going to give them the space. And we've done that with many people we've given them 5 minutes. We've given them stage time. People who never expected to be on stage, we even said to them, hey, would you like to talk tomorrow? They're like, me? I'm like, yes. Can you come up with something? 5 minutes. That's all I need. And they're like, oh, okay. So they got all nervous and stuff like that, but they killed it because they saw the opportunity. We gave them the opportunity. So anybody out there, if you're looking for an opportunity, join us in Tampa. We still have 5 spots available for speakers. So if you're a speaker and you want to join us in Tampa, this is your call. Reach out. And Jose, why is it important to get on more stages? Is it like working out? Is it like lifting weights?
Yes, it is.
What is it like?
Yeah, great question. It's important to get on stages because in order for your message to be amplified, you have to be in front of more people. All right. So if you want to amplify, you want to connect with as many people as possible. And if you're in the coaching, authors, speaker world, I mean, that's part of what you do, right? Coaches and authors are on stages, right? And there's other industries. I'm not just limiting to coaches and authors, but I'm saying if you're a coach and author, you need to be on stages, period. Right? If you have courses and programs, you need to be on stages, period. It is what it is, right? And then, of course, you can own a martial arts academy. You can be a real estate investor. You can be have an attorney office. You can be a podcaster. You can be a construction. All will be on stages too. It's not limited to like a certain audience. But my point is, getting on stages is important because it builds your authority. It builds your visibility. It expands your message and the impact that you're creating, and you're seen as that industry leader. Industry leaders are speakers, right? If you look at some of the biggest names out there that you buy their books, and they're New York Times bestsellers, you buy their books and you know their names off the top of your head. You're like, oh, I know that person, and all those things. Those people are on stages. I can almost promise you, every last one of them is on stages. You look at people like James Clear, Jocko Willink, Brendan Burchard, Jordan Belfort. You look at Grant Cardone. You look at Jeb Blount. I'm looking at books that are right here on my desk. Robert Greene, Ryan Holiday. I mean, you name it. Any of these people are on stages. They're speaking, and their speaker fees are massively aggressive, right? Including those two gentlemen right there, Laszlo and myself. So, but that's part of the deal, right? Is speaking. Now, this is important for you to know, right? Your message is always going to matter way more than the microphone and the stage. I'll say that one more time. Your message is always going to matter way more than the microphone and the stage. But the stage is a prerequisite to that journey. It is kind of required for that journey, right? So remember, people are not going to remember when you're on stages and you're doing your talks and you're preparing and all these things. It's important to know they're not going to remember your slides. They're not going to remember your fancy transitions.
Mhm.
You know how many speaker coaches out there are like giving you all these golden nuggets of you got to smoothly do this and that, and you got to stand here and you got to do this and all. Nothing wrong with that. Awesome, go for it. But that's not the thing, right? Those are just the things that make the thing better, but it's not the thing, right? So it's not so much the slides, it's not your transitions, it's not your fancy introduction and how you captivate people in the first 5 seconds with your statement that's going to get everybody to be like, oh my gosh, he's about to go into this, I got to lean in. No, it's not about those things, although those things make a difference, but it's not that. Don't get hung up on the minor details, right? Keep the main thing the main thing. Now, what are they going to remember? They're going to remember how you made them feel when you were on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to remember what you made them believe while you were on stage. They're going to remember what you challenged them to do after your talk, after they walk away from that weekend or that day of whatever the event is. They're going to remember what you challenged them to do. They're going to remember how you made them feel, what you made them believe. They're going to remember how you inspired them and motivated them, that feeling, right? That's what they're going to remember. So remember, clarity beats charisma and all of the little details of expertise and fanciness on stage. Clarity beats charisma every single time when you're on stage. So just keep it simple. Remember, simplicity goes a long way. You don't have to be fancy. If you can, go for it. It's only going to help you. I'm not saying those things don't matter. They do matter at this level, right? Everything else matters at this level, but it doesn't matter at this level. But if you can add this to this, it only becomes this, right? So that's really what I'm saying.
Mm.
I have to agree with clarity on that because I've seen many speakers not be clear on their message. And sometimes they speak so fast that nobody can understand what they said. And then people just like, they're nodding, but then they're going, oh, I don't get it. So I think clarity is probably the most important aspect. And we have to know how to deliver that message. So there is a pause. There's a heaviness to certain words that really have to sink in. And a lot of speakers don't know how to handle that. And therefore, it is important to do your due diligence before you get on any stage, before you're there to impact somebody. I think that the best thing that you can do is practice. There's nothing wrong with practice. Listen, you don't look at a sport event and pay lots of money to sit in those seats if those athletes didn't practice. If they came in and they hadn't practiced in months and they walk on that, they get on that football stage or soccer stage or baseball stage, and they're going to perform and they stink, you're going to say, I'm not coming back. Right? So you got to consider yourself. If you're going to get on a stage, I don't care if it's 7 a.m. now and they say to me, listen, at 5 o'clock, we need you on this stage. If I'm not ready, then I need to get ready. I need to know what they want me to do. What's the topic? Because if I go there and all they want to talk about is financing, and I come in there and I talk about sports, if I don't tie the sports into the financing, it's not going to go anywhere. Because they're going to go, why is this guy even here? So we also have to do our due diligence to find out what's the topic, who's going to be there, and why are you even selecting me? Sometimes we get so excited. Oh, yes, I'm going to be on stage. And then you go, can I ask you, why do you want me on your stage? They might not even know. So I think that's a good question to ask. If anybody ever asks you to be on a stage, why do you want to be on it?
Yeah, good points. Good thoughts. I'm a firm believer that the right stages are going to draw you in. Right? Every now and then you're going to have a person that randomly says, hey, I would love for you to speak at my next event. And they have no clue anything about you. Right? And those are the ones you have to be kind of cautious about, because you just not all stages are created equal, right? And not all stages are for you. So, but you want to, in the beginning of your journey, you want to take as many stages as possible. There is that too. But eventually, as you've been doing enough gigs, you got to be aware of where you're speaking and why you're speaking there, and what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. But in the beginning, don't worry about that, right? And also know, we're trying to add value to you. Right? If you're watching this right now live, or you're catching a replay, we're trying to add value to you in terms of taking a stage. If you're a speaker, this is right up your alley. If you're an aspiring speaker, these are things you need to consider. But remember, the stage is not about you, folks. And Sifu has alluded to that and said that earlier this morning. It's not about you, it's about them.
Yes.
You know what most new speakers think before they go on a stage? They're like, oh, I hope they like me. That's what they're thinking in their mind before they go up there. They're like, oh, I just hope I don't mess this up. I hope I don't stumble on my words. I hope I don't brain fart. I hope I don't freeze up and lose my train of thought. I hope I sound smart. I hope I sound good. Now, first of all, hope is not a plan. Okay. Let's just be clear on that. Hope is not a plan. You need to be prepared. Okay. So if these thoughts are coming in your mind, that just means you're not prepared. So hope is not a strategy. It's not a plan. Don't hope. But you shouldn't be having those thoughts anyway. I hope they like me. I hope I don't mess up. No, the thoughts that you should be having are the thoughts that great speakers have, are the thoughts that professional speakers have, are the thoughts that a prepared speaker is going to have. And that is, I know that I'm going to serve these people well. I know that I'm going to give these people the tools that they are here to do. Right? I know that everyone in this room is going to be moved to action by the time I'm done today. When you make it about them, you know what happens to go away in a very high level? What happens to go away in a very high level when you make it about them is your nerves. It is your fear. It is that, like, the shaky legs, the spaghetti legs that start to shake, and the pores that start to ooze sweat because you're getting nervous. That starts to dissipate. It doesn't go away entirely, because that's always going to be there. It's just natural when you're in front of people, right? Because that's one of the biggest fears of mankind is public speaking in front of people. But put all that aside, you diminish the fear tremendously when you make it about them and not about you. And when you know that you're prepared. If you're not prepared, all of a sudden you start to hope that you're going to do well. And I'll say it again, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Hope is not a strategy.
Right. What does preparation look like, though? You know what I mean? For those that are thinking about getting on the stages, that might be the question, is what does preparation look like? You know, for me, it's knowing the message that you're out trying to land. Also knowing how you want these individuals to feel and what you want them to feel. And how are you going about getting them to feel that way? What is the approach that you're using? These are the things I feel that you have to really ask yourself as you're preparing, because it's about the audience, as you say. But what about the audience? What do you want that audience to go away with? If you were trying to affect one person, how are you trying to affect that person? What are you making? What do you want that person to walk away feeling? What do you want that person to walk away doing? Challenging himself, as Jose had alluded to earlier. But I think we should talk about the preparation as well, because some people don't know what that preparation is. You know, so Sifu, what is your preparation?
My preparation is knowing what my message is. That's the first thing. What am I going to be delivering? And the other question that I ask myself consistently is why? Why is this message important? And then the third question I ask, is it important just for me, or is it for my audience? Because if it's only for me, I'm only going to serve myself. I can stay home and talk to myself. right? I don't need to do that. I do that every day anyway, right? Because I do a lot of self-talk. I do a lot of self-reflection. And then the other thing that I love that you brought up as well, Jose, is the body mechanics, right? How do we get on stage? What does our body feel like? Are we trembling? Let me tell you about, your hands. Stop that hand from moving like this, right? Or people they're so nervous. And I've seen many speakers, they do jumping jacks in the beginning, they do running in place, and they're sweating because a couple of things are happening. They're hyping themselves up so their body gets into the motion of what they want to deliver. And there's nothing I've seen people do jumping jacks, push-ups, run in place. They walk back and forth. They do all these different things. And that's how they're preparing. Just like when I perform in martial arts competitions and I used to perform internationally, all this stuff, I used to see the same thing with competitors that I used to beat easily. And the reason is because they were not fully ready. They didn't prepare enough. They waited till last minute to prepare. And so I used to see it in competitions, and people would look at me and say, "You competing today?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "How come you're not over there like training like crazy like those people?" I said, "Because I've already done the work. I've already done the work." Now, don't get me wrong. If you look at a quarterback, they're throwing the ball, they're throwing the ball, they're throwing the ball. And the reason is because they're just warming up. They're not practicing. They're just warming up. They're getting their body used to it. So as a speaker, I think what you have to do is warm up your throat, your mouth, your breath is important. If you're not prepared with your breath, you're going to be short. You're going to be winded. You're going to be like, you're going to hyperventilate. So all of these tiny little things that go into preparation should not happen a minute before you get on stage. For me, personal. Now, there's different people who feel differently, and that's okay. We all do things differently. Otherwise, we'd all look the same, and we'd all talk the same, and we'd all act the same. So preparation is what we all do to be on that stage, to make a presence where we're actually impacting others. So we should have impacted ourselves first before we can do it for anyone else. So that's my preparation. I do it. I've already started my preparation for Tampa. I've already started my speech. I wrote it already, right? And every time I speak, I don't want to speak on the same exact thing, because guess what? If you saw me before, you're going to be like, "Oh, I heard this already. I got to tune out." I don't want you to tune out. I want you to tune in.
Yeah, I have gone to many events where the speaker goes up and it's the same talk as the last event that I went to, that I saw them. And then I go to another event and it's the same exact talk, literally, the event before. And this is the challenge. If you run in similar circles, and you run into the same people, and the same people speak at similar events, and you see that person multiple times in 90 days or within 6 months, then you're sitting for 45 minutes to an hour seeing the same exact thing again, or listening to the same exact thing again. And that is not in my opinion, not the most impactful thing you can do as a speaker, right? So all that to say that I have some good news, all right, for all the aspiring speakers or the seasoned speakers. The good news is speaking is a skill, not a talent. All right.
Oh yeah.
So
Right.
I will say that one more time for those all the way in the nosebleeds. And that is, speaking is a skill, not a talent. Okay. So nobody is automatically a gifted speaker. Nobody's automatically really good at that. You might have a personality that's more exuberant than somebody else. It doesn't mean you're a better speaker. It just means you have more of an outgoing personality. That is not a good speaker. Just having a exuberant personality or having that excitable voice or tonality doesn't make you a great speaker. So again, speaking is a skill, not a talent. So this is the good news, is nobody is a born great speaker. I can tell you right now, nobody, not one person is a born, natural, gifted, skilled speaker. The key word is skilled, right? They are built. Talented speakers, gifted speakers, skilled speakers, professional speakers, these people are built over time. They are refined. It is not something that just naturally comes to somebody. So don't feel like, oh, well, I'll speak as well. Okay, you probably don't now because they've done more heavy lifting and more reps. They put in more reps. They've trained hard on you. And I can tell you, remember the 6 P's. Proper prior planning prevents poor performance, which is what we're talking about today. How do you prepare properly? Proper prior planning prevents poor performance. The 6 P's. So you just got to be prepared, right? So my encouragement to anybody who's watching this right now, live or in the replay, and Eileen, great to see you this morning. Mandy Robinson, thank you for your comments and really tuning in heavily. Emilio Roman, Leon, all of you who are tuning in this morning, super happy.
That's right.
But again, this is my encouragement. If you want to get in the reps, if you want to improve your skill set and not just bank on talent, because talent will only take you but so far, why don't you go to Toastmasters? That's a great place to start. Why don't you hire? I know many of them that are out there, one of them being Brandon Godoris, right? Small workshops. Why don't you go into small workshops? Facebook Lives. Go live on Facebook. The more you go live on Facebook, guess what? You start to get better and better at speaking. You start to have fluidity. You start to have this natural flow of how you talk, right? You start to get comfortable with the randomness of what can occur when you're live. Anything can happen. Somebody can ask you a question. A comment might happen. You might freeze up and you got to figure out how to keep it rolling, right? These are things that you do in order to get better at speaking. Local meetups. How many local little meetups are there where you can just get in front of some people and say a few words, right? Church groups, right? You know how many church opportunities there are where you can go and speak. Maybe you can become a lector and a reader at your church, whatever the case is, right? Community events. How many community events do we have in our immediate area where we can just go and participate and be involved, right? Stages are earned. Get this, folks. If you get nothing else at all, get this. Stages are earned one awkward speech at a time.
I like that.
Stages are earned one awkward speech at a time. And they're going to be awkward in the beginning. Sometimes they're going to be rough. Sometimes they're going to be difficult. But guess what? You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And when you're on the stage, the audience doesn't know any better. They don't know what you're going to say. They don't know your message. They don't know whether you feel like you were a 10 or whether you feel like you were a 1. All they know is what came out of your mouth, the presence that you had on the stage, how comfortable you looked and felt on the stage. And that's really what it comes down to. So with the right planning, the 6 P's, and getting in the reps with all these little smaller opportunities, all of a sudden you start to position yourself to be a great speaker that is very skilled and professional. And that takes time, effort, energy, and putting yourself in a position to win.
That's right.
Absolutely. Jose, I wanna say something about what you said about having a speaker that you're gonna sit through the same speech and the same speech that the next time and the next time. And what somebody said to a professional speaker is, I've listened to the same speech you give every time in different cities. I've been following you in cities. And what he turned around and he goes, you may have heard it, but that city didn't hear it. So you have to be careful who's following you. So think about that, right? Before we go on, I want to share one thing with you guys. Take a peek.
Super excited. It was such an amazing experience speaking, and I'm so energized and excited.
Everyone brought the energy, the motivation, and the tools to actually implement to accelerate as a business owner.
I'm really happy to hear at the New York Experience. We just had some of the speakers come up and they were fantastic.
Awesome experience. The quality of people and the quality of the speakers were truly inspirational.
Let me just tell you, the impact in the room, the energy in the room was unbelievable. If you miss this event, there's another event coming up in Tampa. You don't want to miss that event.
It's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds. A movement of momentum. Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance.
Sifu Rafael with the New York City Mastermind Experience. I am here with Lancelot and Jose. We're taking it to Tampa.
Real excited to bring our New York City experience to another state. Tampa, watch out, because here we come.
Get your tickets today, folks. We want to see you in Tampa, Florida. Again, NYC Experience in Florida. Get there. Get your tickets now. We'll see you there.
Elevation, that's the sound. NYC Experience Mastermind, where purpose is found.
Let's go, Tampa.
Let's go, baby. That's it.
Yeah, I gotta tell you what a great conversation we're having today, and I love what you talked about. It's a skill, it's not a talent, but you can become a talented speaker with practice. The more you do it, the better you get, and it's just like anything else, right? You build the muscles with weightlifting. You build the muscles in speaking the more you speak, and a lot of people who don't understand that they speak, you can start practicing at home. You have children, speak to them. Think about that. Set them up and have them all start listening to your speech, and then inspire your own children. Talk to your family and say, hey guys, I have this speech I want to practice. Would you mind listening and tell me your thoughts? Because sometimes we need to start at home. And it can be as simple as that, right? What are your thoughts, Jose? Jose, unfortunately, I think his internet came out. But what are your thoughts?
Well, I completely agree. And one of the things that I did many years ago was I started speaking in front of classes. And I had a few people that were teachers, and so I come in and I can talk at career day, and you can create your own stages to get out there and get comfortable. So there's all kind of ways. One of them is you can speak at schools. Those that have kids, they have career days. Though so it's different ways other than. But we still encourage you to come on down to Florida was in Tampa and get on the stage. But in your preparation, like you said, there's ways of preparing. You can get in front of your kid. You can get in front of your mom, your parents, your siblings, and you can also go into schools and speak. So there's many stages. There's many ways of preparing yourself. But I do believe preparation is key. Preparation, failure to prepare, you're preparing to fail. So, and like Jose said, it's not a talent, it's a skill. And the only way to build a skill is by getting those reps.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the fact that some people don't even like the sound of their own voice, which is it's judgment, right? We judge ourselves when other people never complained about, I don't like the way you sound. I don't like your voice. But meanwhile, we listen to our own voice. You go, oh, I don't like my voice. Because we're not connecting. So the minute we can connect our voice to impact, to something bigger than us, then we can start to really appreciate our voice, because we all have something to say. But when we have something to say, we should make sure it makes sense. That's one. And two, that it does affect those who are listening to it. It's not just noise.
Right.
Noise, we can all make noise. Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So do you see, Lancelot, do you see a stage as an opportunity or a responsibility? Which one do you see it as?
I would say a combination of both for myself. I always see stages as opportunity, but it's my responsibility to get out there and to be that beacon of light. And it's because I understand what my purpose is. So my purpose is always to use it as an opportunity to affect people in a positive way and be that beacon of positive light and energy to people around the world. So I take being on the stage is very serious. And so I prepare Like yourself, I'm preparing now for Tampa because I want to make sure that I'm delivering the message that I want to deliver it the way I want to deliver it. So it's about preparation because I understand the weight of the opportunity, but I also understand the weight and responsibility that I have to be able to relay the message in order to affect at least one person to walk away from that day and starting taking that first step to their new reinvention. That is my goal. So I take that very serious. I take that very serious.
Absolutely. One of the things that I actually do is I record my messages, my speeches, and then I listen to them. And then as I'm listening to them, I'm like, oh, that word doesn't belong there.
Right.
I don't like the way it sounds. It didn't make me feel the way I expected it to make others feel. So if it's not doing it for me, it's probably not going to do it for others. So then I start tweaking my speeches. And I think that's one of the things that I love about the fact that we have all these tools. So for example, I can record on my phone. I can plug it into my earbuds and I can listen to myself as I'm driving, as I'm at the gym, as I'm doing things. And it helps me understand my message even deeper. So I've heard it 1,000 times before I even present it to somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've already said it 1,000 times because I don't record it once and forget it. I record it and I do it again, and I record and I do it again, and I record and I do it again. And then what winds up happening is it makes much more sense to me as I do that. Welcome back, Jose.
We have a question. It says, how do you know you need to share a particular message? And for me, if I can answer that question first, it's based off of my purpose. And when you know your purpose, then you understand you can cultivate your message. And my purpose is to, well, first of all, be a beacon of positive light and energy. I keep repeating it, but I've known that purpose for a while. But my message for people is to let everybody know that you can reinvent yourself at any age and stage of life. And how did I get that? Is because I've done it myself. I've seen what it's made me feel and how I've moved through life. And I want other people to experience what it's like to be stuck, take the things that I've learned to do and take yourself from stuck to unstoppable. And so I know that message is important because I know what it's done for me and what it's done for my life. And at my age and stage of life, I'm still getting up 3-4 o'clock every morning, excited about, tomorrow, excited about the possibilities. So I wake up with hope and excitement, and I want to share that with others. So that is how come I know what my message should be, because I live my message. And that's the other thing, is you got to live it. You can't, in order to be authentic, you have to speak from a sense of authority and knowledge. I teach and I preach what I do. So everything I tell someone else is something I do on a regular basis. So that's how I answer that question. What about yourself?
I'll answer that, then Jose will. For me, it's like you. I know my purpose in life, right? And my true purpose is to help as many people as I can in the world. And if I can bring others to help me with that message, I'm gonna. So if I can get somebody in the audience to say, hey, they raise their hand and they go, I want to help. I want to help your mission. Because for me, it's not about the money. It's about the purpose behind it, right? How do we help one another? How do you help your neighbor? How do you help your family? How do you help your children? How do you help anyone? And so my purpose is to teach people how we can be a beacon of light to everyone. And
there you go.
That's how I always know that the message is going to hit somebody, because it's not about me. It's about us. Right? So it's about community. It's about all the different things that are going to impact not only my life, but your life. So I love what Tio said over here. Hang on a minute, because I think this is what kind of says, and I love that he talks about an artist will play the same songs over and over, but they don't. If they only played one song, how many times do you want to go see them? But they have a variety of songs, right? And that's where the beauty comes into going seeing a concert. I'm actually going to John Mellencamp this summer, right? And if anybody's seen his video lately that he's getting ready, physically ready for the show, it's hysterical. I'm not going to break it to you, but you got to look him up. John Mellencamp getting fit for his summer concert. Now, it'll be my first time I'm seeing him. Melanie has seen him countless and countless of times. She's seen Bon Jovi countless and countless of times. And to me, she's a groupie. But why does she want to continue seeing these guys? She knows the song. She knows the words that they're going to come out because of the way they present them there. And there's inspiration in there. And those people are moving, not one person. They're moving the whole crowd because people who go to these shows want to be there. So do you want to be the speaker that people want to be moved by you? I know I do, and I know Lancelot, you do, and I know Jose, you do. So, yeah.
Well, I'll chime in on the question very quickly, and it's a great question, Leon. Thanks for even asking it. And you said, how do you know you need to share a particular message? So I would say there's a twofold perspective there. The first one is what was already said by Sifu and Lancelot, which is you need to know your mission, vision, and purpose. Right? You got to know your vision, your mission, and your purpose, and make sure that the message you're delivering is the right one based off of the filtering points of those three things. I would say is audience need, right? Because before you go and you speak on a particular stage, you got to know who's in the room. You have to have a general pulse of, who's in the room. So what is the age brackets, the backgrounds of these people, generally speaking? Are they entrepreneurs? Are they professionals? Are they a bunch of athletes? Like, what are they? What categories are they in? You got to know, what are they looking to get? What are their desires, right? And the best way to do that is a couple of things you can do. Number one is ask the host of the event who invited you to speak. Let me know a little bit more about the room. Who's going to be in the room? Who am I speaking to? What do you feel they need the most? Right. And that's important as a speaker, because you want to be able to land and give as much value as possible. And you have to also know, as Leon stated in her question, how do you know that you need to share a particular message? So you're going to know based on those factors. And then when you're in the room the day of the event, what should you be doing before you speak? You should be checking the pulse by meeting people and shaking the hands and getting to know people and saying, hey, listen, if there was one thing I could say from stage that would add value to you, what would that be? I'm just curious. If there was one thing you're looking to get from this event, what would that be? What would you say is give me like the top three things that you're looking to get out of this event? So as you start to check the pulse and get the temperature of the room, that's going to answer your question. Right? It's going to answer your question very quickly. So I want to wrap up on my side very quickly with this last thought. And that's the real goal of a speaker. Okay. And I'm just going to leave you on this note. I know we're at the top of the hour. The real goal of a speaker is not just having authority in general. It's not the applauses of, oh my gosh, what an amazing speaker, and the picture ops and I want to take a picture with Lancelot. He's a speaker, and look how well dressed he is. It's not the likes, it's not the followers, and I can keep going. The real goal of a speaker is transformation and implementation, right? You are looking to transform lives in the room, and you're looking to do that by way of their implementation of what you share. Right. So that is the real goal, in my opinion, of any stage that you speak on. What is your audience going to do differently because they heard you speak? Right? What are they going to do differently? That's really what it comes down to. So internalize that, know that. And I think what we heard today, we talked about a lot of things. If you just take a couple of these pieces, it could definitely make a big difference in your speaking career.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll go next. And one of the things that I'm going to suggest to everybody is if you're going to step on a stage, any stage, you have to ask, and Leon, thank you for that question, is why this message and why now? And what would it look like to treat every stage like it matters? Because every stage does matter. If you're going to be on it, it matters. It does. Every time you get on a stage, it should be the most exciting time. Don't think about the stage I'm going to be in next month. Think about the stage I'm going to today. That's the stage that matters most. Not the one I was on last week, the one I'm going on today. Every stage should matter to you. And here's the one that really is going to help you become a way better speaker than anyone else. Because in your mind's eye, you should say, I am the best speaker in the world. And if you keep believing that, you will become it. And like Jose said, I'm here for a purpose. I'm the best speaker. So you have to talk that into yourself. You have to start to believe it, right? But then also you can't just say it and not do the work. So are you willing to do the work required to earn the stage? Not just to step on it. Anybody can step on a stage, but you got to earn the right to be on that stage.
And I'll end with when you're actually on the stage, two things. Commanding presence in terms of how you stand. You don't want to be doing the two-step. You don't want to be swaying back and forth. You want to move with intention. So when you move with intention. If you're not moving, you stand still. The other thing for me is connecting with the audience. Oh, yeah. How do you do that? I look into their eyes. You know, sometimes that can be intimidating, but when you look at them for real, you start to create a conversation for real. And there's emotions and feelings that you connect with that help you to ride on your message. So these are things that can help you as a speaker once you're up on that stage. One is move with intention. Don't just, and it's a thing called a two-step, which indicates that you're nervous. So you want to plant those feet.
And when you move,
back and forth, right. It's either this way or this way. They move. Plant those feet.
Go ahead, sorry.
You move with intention, with the intention to communicate a specific message, and then look at them. You know, a lot of people in acting, they tell you to look over their heads. But as a speaker, look into their eyes, because that transfers emotions. And that gives you the opportunity to connect. Because if you can connect with one person, then you're going to start to connect with everybody. And that is my advice for those that are going to be at our stage in Tampa, February 27th.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly, before Jose chimes in, I love the fact that you said don't look over their heads, because when you do that, you're not present. When you look at a person, you're present. And if you're going to be a great speaker, you need to be present in the room.
Yes.
Yeah, no, today we covered a lot of great ground, a lot of good points. And I'm just like a kid in a candy store. You know, you walk away all excited, like I got a bag of goodies walking away from this, because it's just a great conversation and a lot of points to ponder, right? I call them POP, points to ponder, or PTP, excuse me, points to ponder. But I want to leave with a quote. I want to leave folks with a quote that's going to be powerful, that if you internalize this quote, it can change your speaking career quite literally. Okay. Are you guys ready?
Absolutely.
Are you sitting down? Are you strapped in?
Yes, indeed.
All right. I don't want anybody to faint if you're standing because of the impact of this quote. Don't wait for the big stage to start speaking. Start speaking to earn the big stage. Okay. I will say that one more time. Don't wait for the big stage to start speaking. Start speaking to earn the big stage. All right. Now you interpret what is considered the big stage. Okay. Whatever it makes sense for you, but start speaking. Get on the stages. Have the courage to do what needs to be done, because you know the impact must be there and requires you speaking. Okay. So We look forward to seeing you guys in Tampa, Florida, the NYC Mastermind Experience in Tampa, Florida, February 27th to March 1st. We are weeks away, less than a month away.
Let's go.
Be epic. It's going to be absolutely epic. So exciting. We have so many heavy hitters in the room. Networking, masterminding, experience, learning, growing, speakers, breakouts, good food, meeting after the meetings, relationship building, connections, you name it. It's happening there.
Shit.
I don't know what to tell you. Get there.
Let's go. You got me jacked up this morning, Jose.
All right, gentlemen. Listen, great topic today. Thank you, everybody, for chiming in and sharing some stuff with us through your comments. Appreciate you. Coach Tio is going to be there with us. The guy is phenomenal as a speaker. And when he said this, he's a young whippersnapper. He's just young, but he's an incredible speaker as well. So
that's
thank you, everybody.
Ali's family. That's Cassius Clay's family right there. That's right. All right, guys. Have a great week. Have a great week. Take care.
Super excited. It was such an amazing experience speaking, and I'm so energized and excited.
Everyone brought the energy, the motivation, and the tools to actually implement to accelerate as a business owner.
I'm really happy to hear at the New York Experience. We just had some of the speakers come up and they were fantastic.
Awesome experience. The quality of people and the quality of the speakers were truly inspirational.
Let me just tell you, the impact in the room, the energy in the room was unbelievable. If you miss this event, there's another event coming up in Tampa. You don't want to miss that event.
It's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds. A movement of momentum. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance.
Sifu Rafael with the New York City Mastermind Experience. I am here with Lancelot and Jose. We're taking it to Tampa.
Real excited to bring our New York City experience to another state. Tampa, watch out, because here we come.
Get your tickets today, folks. We want to see you in Tampa, Florida. Again, NYC Experience in Florida. Get there. Get your tickets now. We'll see you there.
Elevation, that's the sound. NYC